Hello, writers. Welcome back to another very special man interview. Can you call it an interview? It's just a conversation, right?
It's a conversation.
It's a conversation. I got my brothers here with me. We're shooting at the beautiful spot, Rose Barbershop, right? It's an incredible spot. Let them introduce themselves, right? Let's start here.
My name is Tebello Litsualo. I'm just a tech guy, simply a tech guy.
AKA known as Danger. Shout out to
Yo, my name is Tendo. Yeah, I'm also a tech guy. I can say I'm a hustler. Yeah.
Yeah. This is Dukes, man. Dukes, man. Simple nigga, businessman. That's all it is to me.
Businessman.
That's all it is to
He's
me.
a businessman.
Okay, all right. It's nice to have you guys on the show. Why are you guys wearing shades? It's inside and you're wearing shades. What's going on?
Yeah, man, we're still in the matrix, man. We just want to escape the matrix, you know.
Yeah.
No, man, future's bright, man.
The future's
Yeah,
bright.
future's bright. Way too bright.
Easy living, my brother. Easy living.
Okay. Now let me start off with my first question, right? I wanna ask you guys about what are your views on masculinity and feminism in this modern time and day? What do you guys think about the masculinity and feminism that's going on? Your views on that, right?
I'd like to give Tendo this question.
I saw that coming. I won't say I saw that coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, I actually don't really. Okay. Let me start off at this new concept, which is called toxic masculinity, of which I personally don't believe there is such a thing, because if you realize it, in this world, everything is an opposition, right?
Sure.
There is you understand, there's always an opposite, there's always something that's opposing it. So if there is such a thing called toxic masculinity, then there should be something called toxic femininity, of which we don't hear that. You understand? So to answer your question, I believe that we're just at an age where people are way too opinionated. You understand? Whereby for you to express yourself, it's a crime. Or for you to be who you are, it's a crime. I mean, true masculinity can be interpreted toxic from a female's point of view. And I can sit down and say that most females are toxic as well. You understand? By them expressing their femininity. You understand? I mean, a lot of guys actually, they get annoyed at how females are. You understand? But so what I would say, going back to your question, what I would say is that masculinity right now, I would say that it's being challenged. It's being challenged and is not properly expressed as it should be, where guys now are made to feel guilty for being who they are.
Thank you.
You understand?
Yeah. Even having a good, strong sense of character as a man right now, it's like the most toxic thing to have, or maybe you should get cancelled for that, right? A simple example is Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, he's being cancelled for bringing good back, strong masculinity, which is positive independence back into the world, and for that he got cancelled. You know?
Yeah, man.
So if you go to platforms like TikTok, a lot of girls, they hate Andrew Tate.
They hate Tate.
Yeah, I don't know why, man. But whatever Andrew Tate is saying, it's true. It's absolutely true, man. The guy's real. The guy's genuine. No filter, man.
Exactly.
The guy's just real. So I don't have much to say about Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, whatever you are doing, my brother, you're doing right things, man. You're doing right things.
You got
absolutely
everywhere.
Yeah. Sure. Why?
Why?
You see. Yeah.
That's the key question. Why?
Yeah.
It's what I was saying, that we're living in a society whereby it's a crime to be genuine. It's a crime for you to be real. You understand? It's a criminal offense for you to be a guy, to express yourself as how a guy should be expressing themselves. I mean, naturally, guys, we are dominant. Naturally, guys, we are aggressive. That's our nature. We are fighters. But now, we're told that that true nature of ours is toxic. We're told that the true nature of ours it's not acceptable in today's society. Hence, Andrew Tate has been banned because he's as real as they come.
Yeah.
You understand? That's a guy right there. He's as real as they come. You understand? And another thing, I mean, I feel like to some extent we have our females, we have made them too soft to a point whereby we have shielded them so much that we have right now, like, they're even shielded from the true reality that they don't want to hear.
Ask you. This brings the question to what's like, are traditional women better than modern women? You get me?
Yeah.
This is where it brings us, because they have so much freedom. It's like they're saying they're using their freedom in a wrong way. You know, they are expressing their freedom in the most wrongest sense. So it goes to saying, are traditional women better than modern women? You get me? Let Dukes.
Dukes take that one on that.
Don't sleep on us now.
No, Buga problem. I personally believe the greatest scam in the modern world is a modern female who's looking for traditional benefits from men but will not give traditional roles back.
Thank you.
I didn't believe that's the greatest scam in the modern world.
Sure.
So when we come back to that skill and we're like, okay, what is core traditional female values? It's taking care of your man.
Yeah.
It's making sure that his mental capacity is at a very high level. He's focused. He's on the ground. He's working. He's hustling. So if he's hustling, the small minor things, he's not gonna pay attention to them. So that's why I feel there's a lack of divide, shall we say. Sure. Because the females are like, we cannot put in so much effort and then this happens. And we're like, no, but we need to go get that bread.
We need to go get that bread, bro.
So it's an in-between thing, but fair is foul and foul is fair, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, no, I agree with this man here.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, yo, man, these people are demanding a lot, and they're not willing to give. I mean, right now it's a conversation that I had a lot. Like I usually have with this gentleman here, whereby I say that as men, honestly speaking, like when I look at society right now, when I look at society right now, I would say that guys, as men, we've lowered our standards way too low. Like yo, we have dropped our bar, man. Damn, it's
From there.
yo, it's low. And women have not. Like that's why women seek. That's why women till today, like a man knows that Oguti, a woman wants this. You understand? A guy knows. You guys know what women want.
There's a few of us left that know.
You understand? But you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But if you go to a woman today and ask her, what does a man want? Clueless. She just say you want sex, which is okay. It's not. Yeah, it's we want that, but we don't really need it.
Yeah.
You understand?
Thank you.
It's not something that we value that much. So I would say, and traditional women understood what we wanted, because the man values respect, honor, and loyalty. And transparency. That's what these guys we value.
Yeah.
You understand? And also purity. That is also something that we nowadays we tend to be very you understand? Yeah. Like nowadays we tend to shy away from that. Yeah. So what I say is if a woman wants a traditional outcome, then she needs to be traditional 100%. Because a woman will tell you that she needs a man who can do this. These things girls in Twitter, but Indo-Damas. You understand?
It's about a lot of things.
It's very toxic. You understand? Okay, fine. If you're saying that, like, there's a girl, you can approach a girl and she'll say, I want this and this and this from you. You understand? You can go and work and have all that qualities, but then when you have all of that, what you want is you want the best that you can get. You understand? And you value purity and all of those things. So, as Duke said, the biggest scam is modern women.
It is.
You understand? Yeah.
I think why they're so lost is the fact that they've been fed miseducation about themselves as who they are. You get me? Like most of us get to a point where you feel like, no, dog, I've been lied to, and the history that I've been reading is so wrong. So I want us now to dissect, right? To get into like the origin of a black man, the proper history of a So as I was saying, now I want us to get into the deep like origin and the dominion of the black man that was not properly like introduced to a black child, so to speak. We have to find it in various places to know good. Okay, we were this powerful in our time. So I'd like us to get into that narrative. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, so black history basically, ne? Where do I start? There's a lot. It's very fast. But the truth of the matter is that at one point in history, we were the most powerful nations. You know, when you also look into it, we're actually the first. Well, officially the first groups. There's what is this guys? Bamarapova. King anthropology. What are they called? Yeah, those guys. There are findings of bones where you go like North America, South America, Asia. You know that. So they find that the oldest findings they say that they belong to black people.
Sure.
It's also what I once said to Amajita. I was like, did you know that already? Even the so-called American Indian what do they call them? Native Americans. Those Indians, those were black people. You understand? Yeah. Those were black people that were there, who were living at North America at the time. You understand? Yeah. When you look at the history of the Mayans in South America, those were black people. Do you understand? So it shows Uguti from days, even when we're talking about continental travel, black people pioneered those things. It wasn't Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus didn't discover shit. You understand? I mean, there were people in there. If how can I discover a place where there are people staying? It's like I go outside there and I find a car and I discover it and I drive off. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense.
It makes sense.
So when we're looking at African history, bro, like it's so vast that we can literally have like a series, a film where we're diving deep into African history, because the bottom line is that at some point we're powerful and at some point we were.
Tell them about our strongest conqueror.
We had conquerors, bro. We had conquerors, but
greater than Alexander.
But I mean, Alexander couldn't even defeat Nubia.
Thank you.
And Nubia was run by a queen. He couldn't topple Nubia.
Imagine.
You understand? Hey, Alexander the Great. Yeah, he was great in Asia. When he came in Africa, he was humbled. He was humbled. That's where he met his match. Where he found the Nubian queen. He couldn't conquer that lady. You couldn't conquer that lady. I mean, in Africa, we had empires. I mean, empires didn't start in China. It's just unfortunate that our African history is suppressed. But we had our own emperors here. We had empires that were running. We had the Songhai Empire. You understand? We had empires that were very strong and rigid. I mean, you look at guys like, everyone knows this guy, Mansa Musa. That man was a conqueror, you understand? And he didn't conquer lands using violence. He conquered using knowledge and wealth. You understand? Yeah. So, yeah, man, I have a lot to say. Do you have anything to say?
No.
It's not articulating itself.
You see,
I don't know. Yeah, and again, I don't wanna be the one who's always talking.
So you see, Jay, when we come to the history of black people, let's first understand as black people who we are. We are a part of human history that is special. We are the first of every kind. On any kind, on any scale, we are the first. So we need to analyze that.
No, you are the first.
Remember that.
Never last, you're the first.
So, because we were the first, there was a little bit of ignorance on our part. We underestimated our white counterparts.
Thank you.
That was our downfall. So, what I implore the black child is not to listen to us and our stories of the black struggle, is to go and research for themselves on how the black struggle was constructed and how they are suppressed. You look even at the education system, it all boils down to the race. It all boils down to the race. You look at the business models, it all boils down to the race. You look at the financing, it all boils down to the race. Everything boils down to the race. So
they are a minority. What fucks me up is that they are a minority.
Exactly.
You get it?
Exactly. So when a black child does not know his or her importance in the world, that puts them in a disadvantage because they're already starting the race on the back mile. So if they don't know their identity, if they don't know who they are, then they're already 10 steps behind. We're talking maybe 50 steps behind if you are not even willing to acknowledge.
My guy.
Wait, centuries, man.
I mean, they fucked us up for 400 years.
They made sure. And I know how they made sure.
They did.
You know how they made sure? They made sure that they buy all the media and they publicize what they want. They make sure that they tell lies enough for it to become the truth. You get me? That's how they made sure that all of this greatness of black people is suppressed in a vault, or maybe it's somewhere that not the ordinary South African or the ordinary black child can go look for it. They've made sure we are complacent with everything that we are getting now. You see, what they've mastered is making sure that we are okay with everything that we are getting. You know, comfortability in what we see is what they've mastered. So when they mastered that, they made sure that the black child's mind is laced with all their white history. Because all of the great people that we recognize are white. They even said Jesus was white. Was he? No, he wasn't.
He was a black man. That man was black. That man was black. Even when if we were to go back to the Bible, it says that man had feet like brass. I mean, what's the color of brass? Unless I'm color blind, that's
Sort
brown.
of like brown.
You understand?
Brown.
So
Yeah,
it's brown. So adding wool man, it's afro, my man.
Thank you.
You understand? So adding on to what my friend there was saying is that I mean it becomes the way they've mentally suppressed us. It's painful. Like, I mean, imagine if when I'm teaching you history and I tell you that your history started off as a slave. You understand? I tell you that your history. You understand? You started off as a slave and you were dependent on this new nation that came about. So how do you expect, we talk about empowerment, but then how do I expect a black child who knows that their history begins as a slave? How do I expect them to be great? Because subconsciously this person is always going to be thinking, Uguti, man, what more can I do in this world? I mean, there's no one really in my lineage who has ever been great. You understand? Which is a lie. You understand? If they want to teach us history, then they need to start teaching us proper history. They need to teach us about where did Pythagoras learn his theorems, where did Isaac learn his physics, where did Galileo learn his astrology. They need to start going back to the grassroots, because now that's when as a person now you're gonna realize you go to, okay, vele I have a rich history.
You know, how does a country struggling with debts not teach their youngings or their future leaders about accountancy, proper accountancy? You get me? Like, us as adults now, these people here are engineers in their own rights, right? None of them can balance a sheet. No. If I give them a spreadsheet and say balance a sheet, they can't even manage their finances. So you see how much fucked up we are. We can't even balance our own finances. So how can they expect us to run a country in the future? You get it?
Remember, first of all, when the ANC was given the platform to rule South Africa, ANC was never given the platform to rule South Africa. It was given a platform to revolutionize South Africa. ANC is like a political party.
Get the black people on board.
Sure. Yeah. So, and another thing that you must understand is if you keep people uneducated, you're gonna be rich, because they are uneducated. They're always gonna buy from you because you're the one who has like all those resources. You see. So this thing is I don't know, how do we call it? It's a chess game, man. You're always gonna lose when it comes to this.
See the bigger picture.
Yeah, always, man. You see. Yeah. So that's how it is, man. That's how it is.
No, it's true, man. White people are playing chess and we're busy playing checkers. So obviously, man, they're always gonna have a step ahead, because at the end of the day, what a lot of my brothers and sisters don't understand is that we're in the middle of a war, and the only people who don't realize it is black people. Chinese understand. Indians understand. White people understand. That's why when you go to the biggest corporations, you find that in the executives, it's white people only. If it's a white company, it's only white. If it's a Chinese company, it's only Chinese.
Especially if it's
exactly.
It's Indians, Caucasians, people like that.
You understand? So, but then when as a black person, you're made to feel guilty when you're trying to uplift your fellow brothers and sisters. You understand?
Okay, so as we're talking about the educational system, and we've talked about the Einstein issue, so what do you have to add on that?
Okay, now honestly what I would say is that white supremacy is just a lie, man. It's just a big fat lie, honestly speaking, because what is white supremacy basically? Or what is the foundation of white supremacy? The foundation of white supremacy is them. It's a lie. It's based on a lie and that lie is based on us being oppressed and us feeling small.
Sure.
You understand? So that is why these guys, throughout the history, they've been taking credit of a lot of things. And I mean, we look at the Greeks. It is said that the Greeks are the greatest architectures in history. But where did the Greeks learn architecture? In Africa.
Africa.
You understand? We say that Galileo was the greatest. Where did he learn astrology?
Thank you.
Where did Pythagoras learn his theorems? Where did all of these guys, all of these so-called great guys?
Is the biggest export in terms of mathematics.
India. Do you understand? You know, I recently found out that apparently, what's this game, man? Chess. Was discovered. It started here in Africa. I discovered that. I'm like, what? So it just shows you that Africans have always been great, and for white supremacy to stick, it's them oppressing us. There's this quote from, I know it's a bit controversial, but it's a quote from Hitler where he said, if you say a lie enough times, it eventually becomes the truth. So these guys have.
This is the strategy that the white media has used against us for centuries, and it has given them great results. Because they told us a lie so many times that we started believing it. Alexander is great. Every president in the white presidency was great.
Even Britain.
Come on, man.
Even Britain. Why?
Bush didn't care about black people. Bush didn't care about black people. He would assassinate the greatest leaders down there in his time with a phone call.
You know, on that
you
note,
get me?
On that note, do you know it's like people who celebrate what is this guy? This Joker, man. De Klerk. People tend to glorify him. I'm like, do you guys realize the economic structure at that time? That guy had no choice.
Fucked up.
He had no choice. Like this nigga was, because you had Botha. Botha was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna free these niggas. I'm not gonna free I'm not gonna free these guys. So he denounced the presidency and he gave the seat to Botha, to De Klerk. I mean, De Klerk, he had no choice, and people glorify him. I'm like, hey Joe, that guy had no choice. It's like
black and the white people.
It's like we're celebrating. It's like clapping hands for a fish swimming. You're like, hey, that fish can swim. That's its job.
That's its job, man.
So that nigga at the time was to stabilize the economic situation of the country, and the only way to stabilize it was to stop apartheid, because the UN was on his ass. You understand?
You know, a lot of people don't know that our economic status or economic health was butchered by apartheid. Apartheid is the biggest blow that we've suffered economically. We've never recovered from that. We've been trying. We've never recovered.
Because remember when De Klerk was forced, a lot of investors were leaving the country.
I remember that.
You understand? They were leaving. And some of those investors haven't came back.
Never.
You understand? So it shows that De Klerk never really had a choice on freeing us.
If you check, South Africa today, it has how many billionaires? Is it 5?
Less than.
I think.
Go and check this guy Rob Hessoff.
I think it's like
There are more than maybe 18 or 8 billionaires who left the country.
No,
They left because of the economic situation here in Southern Africa. Remember, in South Africa today, it's not simple to become a billionaire. There's SARS. There's a lot of remember there's Hawks, there's
Hawks,
SIU. Those guys, they're always after you. They're always, and if you check, they're always after a black person who's about to become a billionaire. Always, those guys, they are sent after you, man.
Sure.
You see, if you check like a lot of during Jacob Zuma, Jacob Zuma made a lot of billionaires or millionaires here in Southern Africa.
You know what? Because he discovered we have none. That's what he discovered.
Thank you.
And most of the ones that he knew fled because of what? Our critical state of the economy.
I mean, you look at.
And if you check there's this other thing called the BEE. What is the meaning of the BEE here in South Africa?
Black
Economic empowerment.
thank you.
Yeah.
But that thing
Doesn't even work.
It doesn't even work, man.
by white people.
By white people.
It's working for
Yeah.
white people.
Today you start a company, so when they realize that you are going to consulting, maybe you are an engineer, you are going to civil engineering consulting.
Thank you.
The white people they're gonna come to you, they're gonna offer you like maybe 5%.
what you should be earning.
Thank you.
Of what
Thank
you should be
Thank you.
Sometimes they don't even
So the
give you
BE man,
5%.
it doesn't even fucking exist.
Yeah.
It's just like a mystery or a myth.
Monica.
Yeah.
Take the youth.
You see, it's just an umbrella, just they use to, you see.
Just like the hockey club.
Thank you, man.
Exactly, man. Because BE, honestly.
Dukes.
This man is sleeping, man. Hey, this man is sleeping, man.
I'm letting the people who really know the subject talk about it.
Okay.
Because from my point of view, when we come to education and race, I'm literally gonna break down the bounds and barriers, and I'm gonna make it seem not fair. Cause let's start off and put it in perspective. The number one rule I was taught in finance by my brother. He said, through anything that you do.
The key thing that he spoke by his brother, not by the educational system, by his brother.
By his brother.
Yeah.
That's a wise nigga.
Very crucial.
So the key thing,
Not at school.
the first thing he taught me was, hey Joe, you need to learn how to reset the market.
Yeah.
Black people have never been taught how to reset the market. So basically, the theory of resetting the market is very simple.
Yeah.
The lowest of the low need to always negotiate for bigger contracts.
Thank you.
So if we have a low staff worker who earns 15 rand an hour, the next time he or she goes to the negotiating table, it needs to be 25 rand an hour. So the person who has the highest chain requires more money, so forth, and so we are able to then push the market down, reset the market, not allow the white people to set the market themselves. We reset. So that's the first lesson of finance we were never taught. So everything else after that, we were always going to be confused. Weighted average, you're always going to be confused. How to balance spreadsheets, you're always going to be confused. Because you don't know. Because you don't know how to reset the market.
Recently, me and my man here, we're trying to do a cash flow statement, man. Ask this man.
They'll dribble you. They'll dribble you.
Basic stuff, man. No, this man is right, though. Like we're fucked. Honestly speaking, we're
In
fucked.
terms of finances.
With the capital letter F. Because
That's why Praveen can do what he wants to do with us. Because most of us don't know what the heck is going on. If they were to make those spreadsheets and financial statements of their financial moves with SAA transparent, and we were to look at them with thorough eyes and sober minds, they would know, would question a lot of things. Would question a lot of things. Guti, Praveen, why did you move this into an escrow account in Dubai? He's running away from tax.
Remember, I was reading this other book called, is it SARS what? Remember, when they started SARS, Praveen was one of the co-founders of SARS.
So you know how to manipulate.
Yeah, SARS.
he knows that.
It's how they manipulate Julius out of the ANC. Because Praveen didn't like him.
Yeah.
That's how they made him fuck off. Because Praveen knew how to manipulate the SARS system and was like, if you don't do what I say, you fuck off.
Exactly. You know, on that note, there was this thing that I read. You know, actually, when like okay, I'm gonna be a bit off topic, but it's still on topic. Like credit score.
Credit score.
Do you know that? Do you know that credit score actually never existed? Like credit score before, like niggas could just go to a bank and get money. And then later on in life, they're like, okay, they were basically trying to keep us black people away from succeeding economically. So they were like, you need to qualify for this shit. You understand? Of which already you are at a disadvantage because your family doesn't own wealth. Your surname doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
They doesn't have any reputation. You understand? Mara, you have Van der Beek there who comes here and he says he wants a loan. They just
Doesn't even know
him.
shit about finances.
Because why? His family has a reputation. His surname is huge.
Yeah.
You understand? Do you think that if a kid named Oppenheimer goes and says he wants a loan for 50 million?
When I was Ramatata.
They're like, this one is gonna play here.
I want to know, among the three of you, who's the Solomon? Who's King Solomon in here? And you know which attribute I'm talking about. It's not the wisdom. Let me start about. It's the mummies. Let me start by not familiar with the Bible that much, man. I'll give it to Tendo. Man, I don't know much about the Bible. I don't really know anything. What's your Solomon story? How many concubines do you have? Was it David? It's too much, man. I don't know anything about Solomon. But
You see, on the topic, on the topic, I'd like to buzz it on my brother.
The more they pass it, the more suspicious they get. Solomon is like
No, man, honestly speaking, I don't know.
yeah. Who's Solomon?
I don't know who's
Solomon.
You understand? On.
You have signs.
This man is pushing it. Now, man, I would say the biggest attribute that I have is the wisdom.
Yeah. How to gather the ladies.
This man is bringing it to the ladies. No, man. Honestly speaking, let me tell you something, man. Personal. As much as Solomon was an OG, you understand? But then I made a point where I've realized that it's unfortunate I'm going to have to drag us back to the revolution. You understand?
The revolution of ladies.
The revolution of black people. That is, me, I'm a revolutionary. You understand? So, let me tell you something. Like me personally, I believe that we're at that stage as Africans. Yes, as Africans, we used to have a lot of wives. You understand? But I believe right now we're not at that point.
You also practice that belief?
Not many wives. Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. This man is trying to go on me. This man. What I'm saying is that right now the stage of the revolution is going. Personally, I don't think it's necessary to have a wife. You know why?
Why?
Because right now as black people we need to be strong. Because right now we have way too many enemies for us to be living in luxury. I believe that having a lot of wives is luxury. That is why the Arabs
You don't like luxury.
Listen,
I'm asking.
luxury is beautiful. Who doesn't like luxury?
Anyway, it's so beautiful.
No, but then what I'm saying is that right now we don't have that kind of because
What happens when we do?
the one who brought us up.
What happens when we have that luxury?
That we're going to relax.
Aren't you going to indulge?
No, let me tell you.
I'm going to indulge.
Now let me answer this man because I see where he's taking me. Let me tell you why I'm saying that. As much as that I can say I might indulge in you. But
Might or will.
Listen to what I'm saying. Don't twist this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is right now we're at a point, it's just unfortunately because of our history.
Because of time.
Because of history, man. As black people, we just can't indulge in a lot of things that we don't do. Every man here, I'm sure, you niggas want a lot of wives. If you could.
You do that? I've seen it from a...
But unfortunately in our lifetime, we have a war to correct.
How much is this one thing? How many wives? 12.
This man I know, he said he wants 5. I know this man.
You can put what's in your mouth.
He said 5.
Put what's in your mouth. Put them in your own mouth.
Put them in your own mouth.
How many wives?
No, comrade. I only live in a monogamous
relationship.
I honestly care.
This man is Kevin.
We are very fair.
Be honest with yourself.
You can say I'm Catholic. Yeah, but listen.
Even yourself deep down, you know what's going on.
You are home at 5, you know.
6, 7.
It's just that this girl is gonna be watching the podcast. She's gonna be watching.
We understand what we wanted to do.
Okay, sit down. If I was to pick a solo mode in the pool, it would be Mr. Danger.
Mr. Danger. Why me, man? Why me?
It's
Number one.
You know what's the good thing? He's here to defend himself.
He can't defend himself. He knows it's true.
Let this guy like why are you? I think that why are you choosing me? Yeah. Always yeah. 7 women, man, it's fine. Man. If like one girl can make you happy, imagine about 7. Happiness. Yo, man, you're happy, man. 7 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, man, come on. Sushi, it's you, man. Just change houses. Just fucking change houses. You know, I'll definitely go for 7. They're gonna come to me. And man, remember, since I was at primary school, we've been thinking about number of women have been, they have outnumbered us. There have been so many women.
They outnumber us 1 to 20. 1 is to 20.
You're doing the Lord's work, eh? You're doing the Lord's work.
But you, okay, honestly speaking.
There's so many women.
Don't care. Okay, no. Seriously, Jake. Before being honest, every man's dream is to have at the very least options.
Yeah.
Well, at the very least options. So you cannot claim that as men, it's in our nature. So you cannot allow us to be in a situation where we need to leave our nature. But from the purpose of what Tendo is saying, we are not in a position to indulge in our nature. We are not in that position.
But that's not saying it's our nature, meaning we can have that nature in you to do this activity.
Okay,
it's a must.
Let me
I wouldn't say it's a must.
It's a definite must.
There's a quote I like. It says that you must kill who you need to be with who you wanna be.
Yeah. Shut up.
I love that quote because that quote applies in this situation.
Yeah.
If you want to
Kill your monogamous self to be your polygamous self.
but you cannot.
I think we must ask this man.
Yeah, sure, host. Are you in favor of a monogamous or polygamous relationship?
Remember, your girlfriend is watching.
We know
your girlfriend. Don't make a mistake.
So be careful.
Be careful what you say.
On how many people we are not made of. So I'm pro reproducing. That's all I'm saying.
This man has answered like a politician. Yes, answered like a politician. You know, you give that answer, but this is information. But you understand. But then, honestly speaking, in our nature is polygamy.
Okay, since you're saying our nature is to be polygamous, let's go to see who has the highest body count. I'll start. I'll start with mine. I'll start with mine. Okay, I'll start with mine. Mine is 8. That's my body count. What's yours, my nigga? 2.
Mine is 2. That's a very heavy question. This man is a star.
Mine is very simple, I'll be honest.
It's 4. This is the most honest man on this episode. Give me the bells. This one's liars, hands on fire. You have like 8, man. You have like 2 times mine. Yours is 14. What the fuck are you talking about?
The man is 8.
You said 8, man. Why? Like, man, why 8?
Where did you get those 8?
Yo, I didn't get them. They came to me.
This man is a shit. This man is Mara. Okay, that. Oh yeah.
Dude, how can you be pro-polygamy when you have two body counts? These men are not living up to their weight. They're liars, man. I'm not pro-polygamy.
I'm not pro-polygamy.
You have a body count that's more than 4.
Okay, no, I'm not pro-polygamy.
Oh, I know you're contradicting yourself, leadership.
Look, now what I'm saying, leadership is that our nature, I said ours. But me, excluding myself, me, I'm from monogamous.
You're not bound by the souls of humans.
Exactly, my man. Me, I'm living monogamous.
Okay, so my brothers, this is, I believe, we're approaching the near end.
Yeah.
So they say the end is not the finish of the thing.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, what's the song that you dedicate to this episode, right? What's the theme of this song? What's the vibe that you got from this episode? So if you were to represent it in a song, which song will it be, ne? So I'm nominating Stimela by Huma Siken. I don't know about you, Danger.
Yeah. Shout out guys. I'm gonna nominate Lemonade by AKA and Nasty C. Yeah. It's a very huge song right now here in Southern Africa. It's a very good song, man. But I don't have anything. I'm gonna just escalate this thing to Tendo.
Me, it's a simple song. Pound Cake.
What?
Pound Cake.
Drake and
Jay-Z.
Shout out.
Yeah, simple song.
Mine, because of the conversations we had today about the black struggle, I would definitely suggest Hamba Kerela.
Gumre, she's a Gumre.
So,
Am I allowed to change myself? I'm not allowed.
You condemn yourself.
But I have a song.
so Hamba Kerela for the day, because we spoke about black empowerment in land.
Yeah.
And I think those songs, all of them, like reflect all the qualities of the conversations that we've had today. So with that, I'll say like, share, comment, and don't forget to hit that notification button and subscribe. We say Asambeni and we out, baby.
1,000. Road to 1,000.
Yeah.
Respect the 1,000.
We out, baby.